Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Kylie here from Speedbets, bringing you guys another UFC full card breakdown. Today we are taking on UFC 316 DVALISHVILI versus O'Malley 2. Now, I recorded this entire video. It took like 2.5 hours to do like all the editing and everything. That I lost the original recording, I lost the edited version, I lost everything. So we're coming back. I'm gonna probably fire through this a little bit quicker than normal. We gotta talk about last week. Last week UFC, absolutely horrendous card. We had a lot of bets refunded with Blanchfield money. However, we still came out a little over 4.5 units in the green. After coming up about, I think, 1.5 units the week before. It's been an insane run. We are looking phenomenal. Still only 2 losing events on the entire year. And hey, let's keep her going into the pay-per-view. If you guys want to get all the bets for free, we are doing it for free the entire summer long. Hop in that link in the description. You can either join the Discord at the top link. That'll take you to the Discord, and then it'll do like when you join the server, it'll give you a little tour of everything and take you right to where the bets are. Or if you just want to get all the bets for free, delivered right to your email, right to your text, whatever it may be, 100% free. You don't have to edit, don't have to enter the credit card, you don't have to enter a debit, anything. It's just absolutely free, nothing required. Just click that second link, it'll take you to the winnable. Choose the free plan, it's the only plan right now. We have no paid plans available. And yeah, let's keep getting these winners. I'm sending every bet out. We have, I think, like 10 units out on this card already. And we're hoping to come back in the green. Let's get started. Alright, first fight, opening up the card, we have Quinlan Salkild taking on DVALISHVILI. I don't know where their names are. There their names are. These guys are both 8-1 in their professional careers. And I have to tell you guys, Quinlan Salkild is way too big of a favorite. I'm not sold on this dude at all. I'm sitting there, I'm watching his Contender Series fight. He's getting absolutely lit up. He's just resorting to wrestle spamming, clinch spamming, taking down Gage Young. I don't think Gage Young's a quality fighter. I mean, when he was fighting Evan Elder, we had a big bet on Evan Elder money line. It was ridiculous. I mean, DVALISHVILI is just way smaller. That's the issue here. I would pick DVALISHVILI if he wasn't just so small for this weight class. I mean, okay, when you look at it, he really isn't. I guess Quinlan Salkild is just pretty big. He's like 6 foot with, I think, like a 6 or 7 inch reach advantage. It's just not looking good for Quinlan Salkild, he is going to be able to keep him at the end of his punches. He's going to keep him at bay with the kicks, and I just think this fight's going to be pretty boring. I don't think Quinlan Salkild's going to finish DVALISHVILI. The way Yanal has to win this fight is by just pushing him against the cage, running straight at him with like no regard for anything. I mean, Quinlan Salkild, he knocked out Anshul Jubilee. That was a horrendous stoppage, horrific stoppage, but whatever. I don't think Jubilee was going to come back and win that fight after eating that shot. Unfortunately, give me Quinlan Salkild. Give me like a 29-28 decision. I think DVALISHVILI might be able to cover a point spread here. He's a game fighter. He's always going to be there, and I'm not super high on Quinlan Salkild yet. Alright, next fight we have Jeka Sergi taking on Ju Sung Yu. Ju Sung Yu is making his UFC debut 8-0 as a professional. Jeka Sergi is a fighter that not a lot of people think very highly of. I mean, this guy, you think of him, he's got power, but that's kind of about it. He's a guy she's shown to have some type of grappling. He's got a couple submission wins, but they're over super low-level opponents, like road to UFC type stuff. But even on the road to UFC, he was just knocking everyone out in the first round. He's shown a very high level of power, but when he gets taken down, he becomes the nail very, very quickly. Ju Sung Yu, you can't really pull up tape of this guy grappling too much. You see him shooting a couple takedowns. He does a good job wrapping up his arms around the legs. So even if his head's off to the side, they can't guillotine him. They can't do any of that stuff. You see, he got a rear naked choke finish. I don't know. I was a little confused. He like wrapped up the choke before he even put his legs and hooks in. I don't really know what to think of that. I don't think the heat of the moment or whatever, but it only opened up because he was just ground and pounding. His preferred method is ground and pound. I think he's going to get Jeka Sergi out of there with ground and pound. Probably off of one takedown, to be completely honest. Weston Wilson made it pretty easy on Jeka Sergi. And yeah, give me Ju Sung Yu first round. It isn't really too much to talk about here. I think the under 2.5 is going to be a pretty big play for me in this fight. I mean, Jeka Sergi's been finishing all of his losses. Ju Sung Yu's never been finished, but Jeka Sergi's got that kind of power. I mean, I think Jeka has one single fight that's gone to decision ever. Losing to like Anga, I think Anga is considered to be one of the better Indonesian fighters, probably the best Indonesian fighter right now on the regional scene, even though he's like 35 or 36. But yeah, I think this fight's ending inside distance for sure, but give me Ju Sung Yu to find that TKO. And for the next fight here, we have Wang Kong taking on Ariane De Silva, formerly Ariana Lipski. Now this fight right here is another one where I think the odds are a little insane. That's kind of a common trend across this card for me. I think these fights are a lot closer than the sportsbooks seem to agree with. Now, don't get it twisted. I am picking Kong Wang to win this fight. Part of the Wang gang through and through, okay? However, I think that this is a very good fight for a girl like Da Silva. I think you watch her fights. The only one she's really like just getting obliterated and absolutely destroyed, dominated, it's against grapplers, heavy pressure grapplers. Jasmine Jasudavicius, she's on the way to a title run. Honestly, right now the way it's looking, took her down over and over, darced her up in the third round. Karine Silva wet blanketed her. We're looking at Montana De La Rosa, you know what she's about, a ground and pound TKO. Antonita Shevchenko, that was kind of the coming out party for like the, oh, this is how you beat this girl. Ground and pound as well, round 2. Then, obviously, the Priscilla Cachoeira fight. The one before that, Lipski was not able to fight the week before because of some medical issues. And then all of a sudden, she was like, I think she just had a bad weight cut. They wouldn't let her cut. She couldn't fight. And then the next week, they're like, we'll just throw you in at 135 against Priscilla Cachoeira. If you guys don't know anything about Priscilla Cachoeira, she's big as shit and she hits hard. She took her out in a minute. Lipski looked slow. She looked fatigued. Didn't look like she even wanted to be in the cage. They just started going hook for hook and she got caught. I don't think that's going to happen in this fight. I don't think Wang Kong's going to go out there and knock her out. I think you look at her record and you see like all these finished losses. Like, oh, she's been knocked out 4 times. Kong Wang's going to get her done like that. It's just not the case. She only had one real knockout loss. That was Priscilla Cachoeira. The rest are ground and pounds like we just covered. And the odds aren't even out for this yet. I don't know why the books are delaying it, but I'm going to take a big stab on Da Silva here, plus 3.5 points. I think that she's very competitive in this fight. I think they're both the same size. They both have about the same reach. I think a slight reach would favor Da Silva, actually. And, I mean, it's not like Kong Wang doesn't get hit. Obviously, her offense is phenomenal. Her defense is great, too, but she has been clipped. We've seen that Gabriela Fernandez caught her when she was getting a little arrogant. She's beating the shit out of Da Silva on the feet. I don't know. She could get caught again. I'm not saying Da Silva's going to finish her up, but I think she can steal around with pushing her back a little bit. Maybe she wobbles her. I mean, you watch the way she was hitting Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill was dancing all over the cage, just flying around. She was hurt that entire fight. Every single punch that Da Silva threw at her was insane. She was hurt the whole time. You look at it, you see an armbar finish. You see a Brazilian female. You think maybe she took her down, submitted her. She was just ground and pounding her until the armbar just gave itself up, and she had to take it. She didn't want the armbar. She's not going to go for the submissions. Yes, she has 4 submission wins, but she's much more about it on the feet. I think she's going to give Kong Wang a little bit of trouble here. I do think Kong Wang is just more defensively sound than Lipski, and I think that over a 3-round fight, the damage is going to wear a little bit more on Lipski. She might get dropped in like the 3rd round or something. So I'm going to go Kong Wang, but I think this line is borderline unplayable at minus 500. Next fight up here, Markel Medeiros taking on Mark Chowinski. Now I'm a little bit biased in this fight towards Mark Chowinski here. You guys know I've said before I'm from Wisconsin. This guy's a Wisconsin wrestler, collegiate wrestler here. Trains down at the Pettis Gym in the APFC. Trains at Rufus Sports, sorry. And the APFC is where he's fighting. Champion over there. He's got a couple defenses going. I think this guy is good. Now, obviously, he is one of Pettis' guys. The matchups have been favorable. He's beating guys. They have okay-looking records, but I mean, you have like a 2-8 type of guy. I mean, it's Wisconsin regional scene. There's not a ton of high-level talent out here. You're not going to get the best fighters in the world in this area. But he has had good guys in his corners watching him fight. Pettis, I've seen him with GM3 before. He's seen good talent, and he's surrounded by good talent. Markel Medeiros is also a good fighter. This guy has pretty decent striking. Takedown defense is okay, but it can be exposed. His grappling, I think, is the real flaw. His takedown defense is all right, but when he's on the ground, he's not making the best decisions. Against Austin Hubbard, he let Austin Hubbard jump his back. It just wasn't a good look. I don't know. I think Chowinski here with that wrestling background can go in. He can get it done. But when you're watching this guy's fights, he doesn't fight like he's a wrestler. He fights kind of like... I'm in no way am I comparing this guy to Justin Gaethje in terms of skill, talent, anything like that. He fights with that style, though, where he's the wrestler that found the power. Because when you're a wrestler, your hips are your most important thing. You're not getting taken down. You have to be able to reverse all that stuff. Your hips are very, very important in wrestling. Well, where does power come from? Power also comes from your hips. When you're throwing a punch, you're turning into it. That's all in your hips. Obviously, there's more you can do with your arms, your shoulders, everything like that to make your power better. But the hips is where it all starts, and I think Chowinski's got the wrestler hips. He's got real power. Markel Medeiros' striking defense is horrible. The way this guy gets hit is just absolutely atrocious. I think the day he's going to get chinned flat out cold is coming soon. I don't know that I can pick it to be this fight, but I know it's coming. This guy is going to get flatlined. Like, you put this guy against like a Yanal Ashmuz type fighter, I think we're live to see that type of knockout, same way Sam Patterson got done. But unfortunately for this fight, I am going to pick Markel Medeiros. I think he's going to win the fight 29-28. I think this is a competitive fight. I do have a bet on Mark Chewinski. It's a certain type of bet if you want to see that. Again, click that second link, take you to the free winnable. You don't have to pay for shit. I'm not trying to gouge your money or whatever. I'm just trying to redirect you somewhere else to where I have more following across more platforms, if that makes any sort of sense. Or in the Discord, I'm sure we're talking about it there. But yeah, the bet is Mark Chewinski, but it's a little bit biased. Markel Medeiros is too big of a favorite for what we've seen from him. Split decision with Austin Hubbard. I mean, Austin Hubbard does take a lot of guys to split decisions, but I don't think that was a great look. It wasn't his best performance. Then he had a long layoff as well, a year layoff before that one. He was too sick to fight last week, but now he's coming into this one. There's too many questions around him. I don't think you can reasonably bet Markel Medeiros at the current line. So Mark Chewinski is the betting side, but I think Markel Medeiros is going to squeak this one out. Maybe another split decision even. Then we have Chaos Williams and Andreas Gustafsson going at it. Both guys coming in short notice for each other, but they were both training for fights. They both had opponents previously. Gustafsson was supposed to fight last week. Now I am picking Chaos Williams to win this fight. I think the UFC vet's going to get it done. Gustafsson's fight style is incredibly reckless. He blitzes, doesn't have quality striking defense. He gets hit a lot, but he is a dangerous guy. I'm not shying away from that. I know this guy's dangerous. I mean, you see a 10-second knockout over a guy that's 13-10. Maybe he just didn't want to be there anymore, doesn't care about the record, has nothing really to fight for. But still, a 20-fight veteran, you're getting him out of there in 10 seconds, that's impressive. Now, Gustafsson, like I said, he wants to get you in close. He's going to blitz you recklessly. He's going to try to work the clinch, the elbows, the knees, take you down. He wants to be close in your face, which is weird because he's 6'3". He's got a decent frame for the division, but he doesn't fight like it. I think Chaos Williams has got the power to catch him on one of these reckless blitzes that he's going to be going up against here. I mean, Chaos Williams isn't a guy that typically gets blitzed often, but he's a guy that carries power for 3 full rounds. You see this guy's knockouts. I mean, he's got 6 first-round knockouts. I think like 3 of them are in the UFC under a half a round even. Yeah, Carlson Harris in a minute, Miguel Baeza in a minute, Abdul Razak in 30 seconds, Alex Morono in 30 seconds, and he's got a couple more in like 30 seconds. This guy, you have to survive that first punch, okay? When he lands that first overhand, it's coming. There's nothing you can really do about it. You can take him down, but he's going to get back up. Gabriel Bonfim was taking him down. He's getting back up. Eventually, he got caught in the choke. I don't think Gustafsson's locking up a picture-perfect Darce on this guy. I think the pick has to be Chaos Williams. I've seen him compete against higher-level competition. I think that Randy Brown split decision, that could have definitely gone to Chaos Williams. But then you want to look at the Rolando Bedoya. That one maybe could have gone against him, so he's kind of even in the questionable decision category 1-1 there. But yeah, give me Chaos Williams. I think he's going to catch him with a knockout. I'm picking first-round knockout. Gustafsson coming in, blitzing hard. Just going to get clipped early, and he's going to go down. Sergey Spivak going against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Now, I'm a big Waldo Cortez hater. I think this guy is borderline talentless. He's a heavyweight, and he's got power, and that is about it. You want to look at this win streak he's on? People are like, oh my God, this guy's 6-1 in the UFC. Like, he's going to maul Spivak. He's got all the momentum. Would you really call a knockout over Lucas Brzeski, a guy who's like 0-6 in the UFC, a decision against Andrei Arlovsky, a decision against Robelis Despain, who showed that when you took him down, he genuinely did not know how to get back up. You couldn't TKO him on the ground. You couldn't find some sort of submission on him. Head and arm. This guy's pushing off like this on you, man. You got an arm bar. You got your head and arm. Everything is there. It's free on Robelis, but you didn't want to do it. You rather lay on him and you're sitting there taunting him. It's almost more embarrassing that you could take him down so easily and you couldn't finish him. Then we got Ryan Spann. They're just going back and forth, just wailing overhands and hooks at each other. Eventually someone got caught, Ryan Spann. If you want to really talk about Ryan Spann in the second round, I mean, all of his wins are pretty much in the first round. He's got 6 knockout wins. 6 of them are in the first round. He's got 13 submission wins. 11 of them are in the first round. You get this guy out of the first round, he's borderline useless. I mean, all of his losses are like after the first round or something like that, but whatever. I can't hate on him. He did knock out Ryan Spann. guy that's supposed to have the lighter man skill. I don't think Ryan Spann is skilled. The guy's got 2 losses to Anthony Smith. Sergey Spivak's going to come forward. He's shown multiple times that he's capable of taking down these big dudes. He took down Derek Lewis, choked him out instantly. He even took down Jailton Almeida with a trip there. I know you guys saw that. Jailton Almeida did go down. I actually had a stupid bet, Sergey Spivak to land a takedown. It was like plus 300 in that fight. It was just like a $10 little sprinkle, like a 0.1 unit bet, but it was funny to see that actually come through for me. I should have bet for Spivak to have the most takedowns in that fight. That would have been a fun bet to take, but I think Spivak's just going to come forward. He's going to take down Waldo, and he's just going to maul him, do whatever he wants. Waldo, he can wrestle offensively. We saw against Despain, but he didn't really do anything when he had him there. He wasn't ripping off this lethal ground and pound. He wasn't showcasing grappling feats that I was like, wow, he's going to take down Spivak. I think this is a step down for Spivak. We've seen when Spivak takes a step up, he loses like Cyril Gane, Jailton Almeida, Tom Aspinall. When he takes a step down, he's generally going to murder you. And I mean, yeah, he just did Marcin Tybura in like half a round, was that? Not even. Derek Lewis in half a round. Augusto Sakai round 2. Greg Hardy in half a round. When he fights these low-level guys, and yes, I am calling 13-1 Waldo Cortez Acosta low-level. When he fights these type of guys, I think that it's just free for him. Obviously, Waldo is live. He just has that type of power. I can't stress that enough. When you're breaking down heavyweight fights, you always have to have that caveat. They both have power. They're both heavyweights. Spivak's little inside boxing is okay, but let's not pretend like this guy doesn't get hit. Cyril Gane absolutely lit him up. I think Cyril Gane ruined this guy's striking stats because he had a lot of grappling type stats where it's not a lot of SIG strikes absorbed per minute. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check the numbers. I think Cyril Gane landed over 100 strikes on him in one round. Okay, so the fight went on for a round and a half. Cyril Gane landed 110 strikes. 109 were significant, only one insignificant strike. Like, this guy does get hit. And when you're fighting a guy like Waldo who has that type of... There's words I want to use that I can't really say. When he has that type of power, it's just represented by low IQ individuals, we'll say that. He can put you out in one. You see the way Ngannou was striking back in the day with his chin all the way up in the air, and he's just wailing hooks. Francis was winning. That guy was a champion doing that type of stuff. When you're a heavyweight, you can get away with a lot more in terms of like being low skill just because you have power to back it up. Waldo looked horrible in his last fight against Ryan Spann, the way he was striking. But if he hits Sergey Spivak with one of those, who knows? Maybe he can go down. I do have a bet on this fight again in the free plan. But yeah, I have action in this fight. I like this fight a lot in terms of betting that. But yeah, the pick is going to be Spivak. I think it's going to be like a round 1, round 2 submission, ground and pound. Something along the lines of that. I think Waldo might try to get back to his feet, make a mistake, post his hand or something to give up his neck, and then Spivak's going to wrap him up in a guillotine or something like that. Then we have Azamat Murzakanov taking on Brenson Ribeiro. Now this fight right here, I think somebody's going down. I think somebody's going down hard. Somebody's face planting the canvas in this fight. But I'm not like everyone else here. It sounds like I'm just trying to be different. I'm going to be very blunt. I'm picking Brenson Ribeiro to win this fight. I think Azamat Murzakanov is borderline horrible. I saw some dude on Twitter saying this guy is he's like the 205 McGregor. Bro, are we watching the same fights? I don't know what fights this guy is watching. But I don't think it's Azamat Murzakanov fights. And whatever. If he picks Azamat Murzakanov at minus 700 and he wins, that's a good pick, bro. Good pick. Whatever. I don't care. I'm picking Brenson Ribeiro. I think Azamat Murzakanov is just... He doesn't do anything. He throws his left straight. He throws a body kick. And then he throws this like rear uppercut. But when I'm seeing him throw this rear uppercut, he's almost throwing it from too far away. He's like trying to be McGregor to like basing this off this guy's example. I would never even put McGregor in the same sentence as this guy had it not been for that point. He tries to do like a little step in uppercut to then maybe come back with the cross. But he doesn't really do it well. I don't know if he's trying like a step into a hook or I don't know what he's trying to set up. But he just misses a lot. Or he just hits their hands and then that's that. When he's doing this, when he's leading with the rear uppercut, Brenson Ribeiro, 10 inches of reach. You think this guy can't wrap a hook around that? You think this guy can't lean back and even just hit him with a straight as Azamat's blitzing in for that? All I'm saying is the last 3 southpaws that Brenson has fought didn't go so well for him. DR Nargoize, I mean, we watched that guy get dropped and he got Kimura on the ground. Brenson Ribeiro has a wide submission arsenal. If this fight hits the ground, I know Azamat can wrestle. His takedowns suck. His control is pretty unproven. He goes for takedowns. He seems like a guy who's confident down there. I think you take down Brenson, you might get him down, but he's going to be doing shit. He gets hit a lot on the ground, and I think that's Brenson's biggest flaw. I don't consider Brenson Ribeiro to be this super chinny guy, but when you take him down on the ground, he spends too much time chasing subs. When he gets on top, he's chasing subs, and I think that's his ultimate downfall. He loves to scramble too much. He's trying to latch stuff up that isn't there. In this fight, I don't think that's going to play. I think we're going to see Brenson's power versus Azamat's power. I'm 100% aware that Azamat Murzakanov could step forward and knock Brenson out in one punch. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying that's impossible. I think that's what happens 50% of the time. But the other 50% of the time, I think it's Brenson Ribeiro who's clipping Azamat. So when I'm looking at the odds and I'm seeing one guy minus 700 to one guy that's like plus 450, plus 500 in a fight that I think is almost coin flip as to who hits who first, who hits who harder. In terms of a betting, in terms of a pick, I feel like I'm almost obligated to pick Brenson. Azamat's getting this boost in the odds. The guy's 14-0. Were you going to forget that he was down 2 rounds to Tafon and Chukwi? The Tafon and Chukwi, the guy who I think got knocked out by Carlos Ulberg in like a minute the fight after, the first round. The same guy who then took a fight at 185 pounds. The guy who then followed that fight up with a fight at 260 pounds against Chris Dawkins in Cage Fury FC. Tafon and Chukwi had no idea what he was doing. That guy was just bloated up. He carried a whole inch layer of fat across his whole body. He had no muscle definition, but he's still mildly athletic somehow. And he was piecing Azamat up. He was winning the fight 2018. I had it. I think that was the official scorecards too. It's just for me personally, there's not a way I can find it in myself to pick or bet Azamat at -7. I keep talking about pick. The picks are irrelevant. The picks literally don't matter. We're talking about if you were to be betting on this fight, where would you place your dollar amount? And I think the value's on Brenson Ribeiro. I don't think this guy is as bad as everyone seems to be making him out to be. People are like, oh, he lost to Kyle Machado. Dude, Kyle Machado is a completely different fighter than Azamat, and he also won that fight. I don't think that was a horrific robbery. It was a close fight. Slight robbery, maybe. maybe. But the fight against DR Norgay, people are going to be like, oh, DR is such a fraud. The guy's a bum. Watch him come back and actually have a very good fight with, who's he fighting? Salty Baldiev, I believe? Yeah. Watch him come back and have a good fight against Sati Baldiev, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, what the hell? This guy was supposed to be garbage. He just had that tick where you have to wipe his face or whatever it was. He had to itch his eye or something. It's just a Kazakh thing. I don't know. I remember Damir Ismagulov had something like that too. But yeah, basically the way I see it, I think it's a close fight, and I think somebody's getting knocked out. The books agree. The odds for this fight to end via knockout are like a -500. Now, why is Brenson Ribeiro by knockout plus 700 and Azamat by knockout is -300? That doesn't track to me personally. That just doesn't track. I think Brenson's a lot more live than anyone's willing to give him credit for. And for that reason, I'm picking him to win this fight via knockout in the second round. Also, what I would like to say is DR was that southpaw. He got dropped. Kyle was a southpaw. Brenson found success. Bruno Lopez is an orthodox fighter, but the second he switched to that southpaw stance to try and blitz Ribeiro, he got clipped and he got knocked out cold. We have a fight that's a little bit more easy to predict, in my opinion. Bruno Silva taking on Josh Van. Josh Van's kind of everyone's favorite fighter right now. He's just mini Max Holloway. I think those are the comparisons that are going around. I think it's fair. He's got pretty decent takedown defense. He's got super high output. Super tiny for the weight class, but in this fight, he's actually going to have a height advantage. But he has a super short reach. That's kind of like the Josh Van package. Just a tiny guy, super high output, no power, allergic to finishing people, but he's always in for a fun fight. We saw against Charles Johnson, he got clipped in that third round. Who predicted Charles Johnson round 3 knockout? Oh yeah, run the tape back. We said Charles Johnson round 3 knockout in that video. Anyways, we're 100% on Josh Van predictions here. But Bruno Silva, on the other hand, this guy, in my opinion, kind of relies on being the quicker fighter. He relies on getting the punch on people. He drops down for a takedown, then he comes back up with an overhand. He clipped Cody Durden with one of those, put him down. It was like an overhand uppercut, something like that. I forget which strike it was, but he was clipping him that whole fight, just kind of being faster than him. And then we saw Josh Van. He was way faster than Cody Durden. Way, way faster. Outstruck him by margins. And I think this fight's going to be more of the same. I think Josh Van's going to be just lighting up Bruno Silva. Is Bruno Silva live to clip Josh Van late in the fight? I mean, maybe. I think it's kind of been proven the way you have to beat Josh Van is by knocking him out. I don't think it's going to be the rustlers. A lot of people are saying you have to hold him down. I think you just have to knock him out. You have to really hurt Josh Van early. Now, I think Bruno Silva is live to win the first round. This guy always comes out hot. But when he can't get the takedowns, he can't find his range, he's the slower fighter. And we just saw this against Manel Kape. I think Manel Kape's a bum. I think the guy's terrible. I think the finish was set up by a blatant, uncalled low blow. It is what it is. Bruno Silva had his fair share. Maybe it was karma, maybe whatever. But Manel Kape should not have gotten that finish. The sequence that started it was an uncalled nut kick. But give me Josh Van by decision. The guy's allergic to a finish. He always loses the first rounds except to Ray Saruya, but Ray Saruya can't throw a punch. So I think we're going to go back to the old ways. Bruno Silva's going to take the first round. He's going to lose rounds 2 and 3. Give me Josh Van by decision. Next up, we have Vicente Luque taking on Kevin Holland. All I'm going to say is Kevin Holland's a minus 300 favorite. If that's not sounding every single alarm bell, red flag, everything you can imagine and more in the back of your head, I don't know what to tell you. You haven't been watching the UFC long, have you? Kevin Holland should not be minus 300 to a single fighter on the roster. Kevin Holland, I mean, the guy is 2 and 4 in his last 6. And you want to say, oh, he only loses to 185ers. I mean, he lost to JDM, Michael Page, both 170-pound fighters. I know JDM and Michael Page are both very good. But Vicente Luque is not bad. Why is Vicente Luque being slept on so hard? I think the only way you can justify a Kevin Holland pick is by hoping that Luque just magically quits again like he did against Buckley. I mean, I don't know what happened in that fight. Luque, pulled guard and then just gave up. I mean, that was just such a weird fight, and I don't understand what happened in that matchup. I think Kevin Holland is way less skilled than Vicente Luque. I think Luque can mix it up upstairs. He can get the takedowns. He can work the clinch. He has better grappling than Kevin Holland. Some people seem to think Kevin Holland has this insane level of BJJ. He doesn't. He throws arm bars and triangles. Okay. Last fight, he tried an omoplata against Gunnar Nelson. He literally just got picked up. Gunnar Nelson was laughing at him. What are we doing here? Kevin Holland, yes, he can grapple. I'm not saying Kevin Holland, he can't, whatever. He can't stuff takedowns, though. That's something that's been proven across both weight classes. Gunnar Nelson is not a wrestler. He's a grappler. There is a difference. Gunnar Nelson, his takedown entries are pretty low level, in my opinion. And he took down Kevin Holland a number of times. Vicente Luque can back Kevin Holland up to the cage. He can 1,000% take him down. And not to mention, he also has striking holes. Like Mikhail Zaitchik dropped this dude. You're not going to see that on the stat sheet. All these guys that are just looking at the stat sheets, they don't actually watch the fights back. They're going to forget about that. The reason that fight was on the ground is not because Mikhail shot a takedown. Mikhail's a striker. Mikhail cannot grapple. Speaking of fighters that cannot grapple, Mikhail Zaitchik's number 1 overall. The dude's got dynamite hands, but he has 6 submission losses. So he knocked Kevin Holland down. He just dove in, 1 out for some reason, and he got armbarred. He didn't even tap, but his arm was going to snap. It is what it is. I think Vicente Luque has all the upside, and he's got the 2-to-1 price tag on him. I mean, is Kevin Holland really going to knock out Vicente Luque? He almost knocked out Gunnar Nelson, but he didn't. And then Gunnar Nelson went back to the corner for 1 minute, came back, and he's totally recovered. I mean, he wasn't like Kevin Holland had him on death's doorstep. We're talking Merab versus Moraes type. And it wasn't like that. I don't know. He dropped him bad, absolutely. Couldn't finish the fight in the second or third rounds. If Vicente Luque is who he was, he should win this fight 9 out of 10 times. The only concerns are the reach and the height. If Kevin Holland is fighting technically and he can keep Vicente Luque on the end of his jabs, I mean, we're talking about Kevin Holland, though. That's not going to happen. He doesn't fight like that. I think Vicente Luque is incredibly live here. I think if he gets Kevin Holland down, Kevin Holland's in trouble. Vicente Luque, the Darce Knight, I think he might be able to run it back here. I'm kind of weaseling out of making an official pick here because I really cannot pick Kevin Holland. But Vicente Luque just has so many question marks right now. I mean, Temba Garimbo is horrible. It's a good win. He put him out very quickly. But it's not a great win to have. Ah, man. Give me Vicente Luque. This one's low confidence. I think this fight probably doesn't go the distance. I think it's either Kevin Holland by knockout or Luque sub, maybe a club and sub for Luque. I don't see Kevin Holland latching up a sub. The official pick is Luque, but again, that's super low confidence. Then we have Mario Bautista, everyone's favorite fighter, taking on Patchy Mix. The UFC debut of Patchy Mix, been a long time coming. This guy is damn good. I'm not just going to be that guy that tries to pretend to be hardcore and you have no idea what Patchy Mix is, but you see the record, you're like, oh, I'm going to pick a Bellator fighter, super hardcore pick. This isn't like Pitbull. This isn't like some 35-year-old dude way past his prime coming in fighting a top contender. Whether you like Yair Rodriguez or not, whether you hate the guy or love him, he is a good fighter and he beats a lot of the top 15. He beats most of the top 15. There's a reason he's a top 5 guy. There was no way Pitbull was going to win that fight. Yair was one of my locks for the card. And it's just tough, man. Mario Bautista isn't good. I don't think this guy's had a performance in a while that's really been like, wow. I mean, Ricky Simone, I think, is his best win. The Jose Aldo fight was way too close to be considered a good win. I'm not ready to say that fight was like the most brutal robbery in the history of the sport. I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'm not going to say Mario Bautista clearly won the fight either. I think that was an incredibly close fight. If I would have went to Jose Aldo, I don't think anyone would have been mad. No one would have been up in arms, but everyone seems to be up in arms because they just love Jose Aldo so much. Bautista fought a very boring fight, and he won. It is what it is. We can't change it now. The fight that I really don't think he won was the Damon Blackshear fight, which is crazy. Because the Aldo one was a split and this one wasn't. I thought this fight was way closer. I thought Damon was doing good work with the takedowns, with the clinch, everything like that. And Damon took that fight on 1 week's notice after fighting the week before. It was supposed to be Bautista versus Cody Garbrandt. And you're going to that close of a fight with Damon Blackshear on 1 week's notice after he just fought and he just cut weight? I'm not saying that like he took so much damage that he couldn't recut the weight. I mean, he twisted Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson's terrible. But then he just had to stay at that weight for the week. You probably couldn't do a ton of training when you're that low on weight. 2 weight cuts in a row is bad news. I don't know. I think Mario Bautista has a hole in the grappling. He can be exploited. And what does Patchy Mix do? He's going to take you down. He's going to work the trip. He's going to work that front headlock. This guy's front headlock is insane. He doesn't use it like a guy like Luque, where he's looking for the darts, he's looking for the anaconda. He uses it as a way to pivot to the back, to get to your back. You look at his record, it's rear naked, rear naked, rear naked, rear naked, rear naked. Like, that's what this guy's game has been for years. I mean, he has guillotines, he has arms, he has all the submission. This guy's a grappler through and through. His takedowns aren't horrible. When you look at a lot of these high-level grapplers, their takedowns aren't great. Patchy Mix has good takedowns. Look at the Magomedov fight, the first one. Submitted him. And that sloppy takedown entry got him with the guillotine. Look at the rematch. It was way, way closer. He caught him with a guillotine in the first one, so he's just jumping the guillotine in the second one. He's trying everything he can to get that guillotine again. And I think he put himself in some bad positions in that fight against Magomedov, just trying to chase that same exact finish. 2 fights in MMA against the same guy never go the same way. They never do. The only time where a fight has gone the same way is pretty much Strickland versus DDP, where it's just stand up for 5 rounds, and it's just back and forth jabs, back and forth overhands. 9 times out of 10, fights don't go the same way. And Patchy Mix was trying to force the fight to go the same way, and he couldn't get it. And he won a very close decision. That was almost a bad decision. I don't know. That's a very, very close fight. I wouldn't have been too surprised if the decision went to Magomedov. But like I said, saying that Mario Bautista gets taken down. He's been taken down multiple times before. I think Patchy Mix is going to come in, take him down, work to the back. If Patchy Mix gets your back, his control is insane. I think if he gets the back of Mario Bautista, that's the end of the round, if not the end of the fight. I think Patchy Mix is incredibly live to sub up Mario Bautista here. And this is not a diss on Mario. I'm not saying this guy's trash. I'm not saying this guy's a bum. I'm not mad at this guy for beating Jose Aldo. It is what it is. Whatever. I'm not going to touch on that anymore. I'm not mad at Mario. I don't hate Mario. I don't wish the worst on him. But I think Patchy Mix is a bad stylistic matchup for Mario Bautista. Mario's got nothing to gain here. If he beats Patchy Mix, they're just going to say Patchy Mix is a bum, send him back to the prelims. But if Patchy Mix beats Mario Bautista, he's going to be a star. If he finishes up Mario Bautista with a first-round submission, don't be surprised if you see this guy fighting the winner of Merab versus O'Malley. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you see Patchy Mix in there with a Corey Sandhagen next fight. There's a big fights for this guy. Big stuff on the horizons. If he gets a finish here, I think he's going to come in. I think he's got the goods. Give me Patchy Mix for a round 1 submission. Yeah, I don't need to spend too much time on this fight. Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. I think Joe Pyfer has got him covered everywhere. A lot of people are low on Joe Pyfer for the Jack Hermanson fight. You watch that fight back, in those first 2 rounds, it really looked like he was just en route to knocking out Jack Hermanson. He was looking like who everyone thought he was in that moment. Then he got a little bit tired. He got a little gassed out when a guy wouldn't go away, and I think that's the only concern for this fight. What if Joe Pyfer can't put Kelvin Gastelum away? Kelvin Gastelum's got a sick chin. He does have a good chin. He's never been finished. But, I mean, everyone's got 100% in something until they don't. You look at these guys. Max Holloway's never been knocked out until he fought Ilia Topuria with that kind of power. When there's certain requirements that are met, like a certain power threshold, yeah, Max Holloway was eventually going to get knocked out. Whether it was Ilia or whether it was, dare I say, John Silva on the come-up, if Max Holloway stayed there, if Ilia didn't exist, something like that. It could be anyone. Some guy with some stupid type of power is going to come through, and he's going to clip Max Holloway eventually. And I think Joe Pyfer's got that kind of stupid power, and he's got the anger right now. This guy's mad as hell. I think he's got all the power in the world to knock out Kelvin Gastelum. I don't think it's going to be a flatline knockout. I think he's going to clip him. I think Kelvin's might fall to his butt. He's going to kind of roll to his side a little bit. Maybe Joe Pyfer comes in, he dives the underhook, he goes for like a choke. Maybe Kelvin Gastelum with that low grappling IQ. Maybe he's still a little bit stunned, he gives up the head and arm triangle. Maybe Joe Pyfer just ground and pounds him. I don't think he's going to put Kelvin out cold. We have never seen Kelvin in a position to even think that's possible right now. But we have seen him hurt before. Izzy had him hurt bad. We've seen Kelvin rocked a little bit, but he's just never been put away. I think Joe Pyfer's got the power. I think he's got the wrestling, his Gracie gym. He's got the jiu-jitsu. I think Joe Pyfer's got him covered everywhere. Give me Joe Pyfer by submission. That's what I'm going with for the official pick in round 2. We have Juliana Pena taking on Kayla Harrison. Women's bantamweight title bout on the line. When's the last time you saw a champion defending their belt at a plus 500 price tag? When's the last time you saw that? Because honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Merab was like the biggest champion's underdog in a while. Dricus is a decent-sized underdog against Hamzat, but when's the last time you saw like this? Maybe are we talking like Bilal versus Leon? Even then, that was only like a 3-1 favorite. I've never seen a 7-1 title challenger. It's been a while at least. I can't think of any off the top of my head. If you got something, drop it in the comments. I'm actually curious. I need to look into that because I am very curious. But Kayla Harrison, all know, judo Olympian. Juliana Pena, horrific striker, has good grappling, has the heart of a lion. I think Kayla Harrison's going to take down Juliana Pena. She's going to beat the absolute shit out of her for probably about 6 to 7 minutes, 5 minutes to 7.5 minutes. That one round to a round and a half. And after she gets done elbowing Juliana Pena in the face, after she gets done battering the shit out of her, when Juliana Pena scrambles back to her feet and she's still coming forward, like she's like, well, is that all you got? I think Kayla Harrison's going to be like, yo, what the hell? What's this chick made out of? And then Kayla Harrison's going to expend a lot of her gas doing that. I'm not trying to be some guy to, oh, Kayla Harrison's just going to gas out. It's not like that. I think she's going to expend her energy beating the shit out of Pena because Pena isn't a good fighter. I don't like Pena. I don't think Pena's a great fighter. But I think Kayla Harrison's going to put her all into getting this finish, and it's just not going to come. Unless Juliana Pena gives up her neck in some weird scramble. That doesn't happen too often. I mean, Amanda Nunes dropped Pena like 5 fucking times. Could not put her away. And Nunes is finishing just about everyone. I mean, Kayla Harrison has to do a lot to put Juliana Pena away. I mean, we're looking at age 34 versus 35. Not a big difference there. We're looking at the height. Kayla Harrison's slightly taller. But Juliana Pena's got the leg and the arm reach. Juliana Pena is somehow the better striker in this matchup. When's the last time you've been able to say that about a Juliana Pena fight? Generally, you can't. I think Juliana Pena is going to win the 4th and 5th rounds. I feel pretty comfortable saying Kayla Harrison's going to win the 1st and 2nd rounds. So when it kind of comes down to what's going to happen in that 3rd round, if Kayla Harrison has the cardio to keep going a little bit longer, she wins the 3rd round, she probably wins the fight. Juliana Pena wins the third round, maybe she can start stacking some momentum. She can start working into the fourth and the fifth rounds. We've seen a lot of people are saying Kayla Harrison has 5-round experience, so she's not going to gas out. She's not going to get tired. She has 5-round experience at 155 pounds. And I would like to say she's never made championship weight in the UFC. She's used that 1 pound allowance in both of her fights. I know that doesn't really matter that much. I'm not saying that 1 pound is going to be the make or break. But Kayla Harrison hasn't made 135 pounds at any point in her career. She's been fighting in these championship fights at 155 pounds. I think she's had to shrink down to meet the UFC requirements. Are they testing this girl? She's basically a man. And dare I say, Juliana Pena, round 3, 4, or 5. There's something there. Okay, there is a chance. Kayla Harrison goes for a sloppy judo throw. She's an Olympian. I don't know why I'm saying she's going to go for a sloppy throw. Maybe she's a little bit tired. They're all sweaty in like the fourth round. Pena slips out. She grabs the whizzer, stuffs Kayla Harrison's face to the ground, latches a hook over the top. Now she's on Kayla Harrison's back. Kayla Harrison's a judoka. She's not a jiu-jitsu black belt. She's not a jiu-jitsu practitioner. What, Juliana Pena, people are going to call it a fluke. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. What if Juliana Pena latches up that rear naked in the fourth round? That's all I'm saying. There's some things you have to think about here. When you're seeing minus 700, you have to think, what does Kayla Harrison have to do to win this fight and to look that? Oh, I think she's got to win in the first or the second round. I think it's got to be a dominant finish. So if you're playing Kayla Harrison, I think you just have to play it for the round 1 or 2 finish. Yeah, basically what I'm saying is I think Juliana Pena is incredibly live to win this fight late. And for that reason, I'm picking Juliana. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to pick Kayla Harrison by decision. I think she can do enough to win the first 3 rounds. But I am going to be scared. I will not be betting on Kayla Harrison whatsoever. I think Kayla Harrison can win the first 3 rounds. I think that weight cut is going to be bad. And I think that there's going to be some scares in that 4th and 5th round. But I think Juliana Pena doesn't have that in her for the first 3. I think Kayla Harrison can bank 3 rounds and just spend the rest of the fight surviving. So yeah, give me Kayla Harrison by decision. Now it's time for the main event. Merab DVALISHVILI taking on Sean O'Malley in the rematch. Now, can I just say these odds are insane? I'm getting Bilal syndrome looking at these. What I mean by that is that Bilal is the underdog is every single fight on the come up. Every single fight he was the underdog. Then he gets to the championship. He dominates Leon. Was it a domination? I don't know. What? Regardless, he beats Leon Edwards, gets the belt. Next thing you know, he's like a minus 250 favorite. Merab's never been this big of a favorite, not to my knowledge at least, not in recent times. He's been the underdog almost every time out. In recent times, the only time he's been the favorite is over Henry Cejudo, and that's just because Henry Cejudo was old. Sean O'Malley, for Merab, let me break this down. Merab is going to be in there for 25 minutes. Heavy pressure, wrestling, cage clinching. He's going to get you down over and over. He doesn't have the control to really keep you there. Now, Sean O'Malley is a guy who's dangerous for every minute of the fight. For all 25 minutes, O'Malley's going to have power. He's going to have the ability to hurt Merab. I mean, we give Merab a lot of credit for being tough and having good recovery. Those aren't traits you give someone that doesn't get hurt, that doesn't get hit. We give him those traits because he gets hit often. He gets hurt all the time. Sean O'Malley can hurt him. He did hurt him in the first fight, and he had that torn labrum. He got his hip surgery. He's going to be throwing more kicks, hopefully. I think O'Malley should look like about the odds that they were the first time. What was it, a pick 'em the first time? I think that's what it should be right now. I mean, Merab beat him probably 49-46, 48-47, something like that. That's how Merab beat him the first time. I think O'Malley can make this more competitive. I don't know if I'm ready to say O'Malley's going to chin Merab because Merab just hasn't looked like he's going to slow down. And I mean, I don't know. The pick for me personally is Merab. I think Merab's going to do what he did last time, and he's just going to do it again. I think Merab is a very consistent fighter. This isn't a guy who you have to worry about him following a game plan. He's going to go in there. He's going to try to take you down. If he can't take you down, he's going to hold you against the cage. He's got a very good chin, like I just said. He does get hit, but when he gets hit, he's fine. Even against O'Malley after he was kissing him on the ground, and then he stood up, turned his back. He gave O'Malley a free sucker punch. Wasn't worried at all about it because he knows his chin is good. I think given the odds, you can't bet Merab at this price. I think if you're betting Merab at this price, you're lost. I think the only bet that makes a little bit of sense would be O'Malley plus 5.5 maybe. Haven't even looked at the odds on that yet, but if that's a decent price, I think that's worth a shot. I think Sean can win 2 rounds. And then obviously if he gets a knockout, he's the only one in this fight that's probably going to get a finish. You just have to worry about Merab 50-45 in him, or 49-46 in him. I don't know if that happens again. It's a really weird fight to break down because it feels straightforward, but at the same time, there's something in the back of your mind that's like, well, maybe Sean could do this, maybe Sean could do that. When you're betting on a guy to get a fluke knockout, you probably shouldn't bet that guy. That's why I can't pick Sean O'Malley here as my official bet or anything. So the pick's Merab. Can't lay the 300. Not a lot you can do with his main event here, but hopefully it's a good fight. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like. Let me know your locks in the comments. Click that top link, join the absolutely free Discord. Click that second link, get all of my bets for free. We're doing MLB, NBA, WNBA. Hockey's gone, but not gone yet, but playoffs are coming to an end here. Stanley Cup's going on. We're doing MMA all summer. When the fall comes back, we're doing football. I'm going to be going through some season-long football bets in the next coming weeks. Some season-long hockey bets after this season's over. And it's going to be a lot of good stuff, man. Hope to see you guys in the Discord. We'll chat it up. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.